All right. So this is being recorded. So in case anybody wants to see this later, couldn't make it today, or joins the company, then they're free to watch the video and learn about PDF24, which is our topic of the day. So people with full Acrobat have had the ability to do all sorts of things with PDF. They can create PDFs out of documents. They can move pages around, rotate, all those kind of things. But those of us without that have been kind of lacking in those areas. There is a program that we've had on our computers for a few years now called PDF Creator, and that will let us create PDFs from anything that you can print. But it's had some issues. I block it when I install it, but it does come by default with some extra kind of junkware that I don't really like, and there's no real way to manipulate PDFs except using their other program that they started adding on that's constantly bugging you to buy this and buy that, and we got to pay for these features. So I started looking around and found a new program called PDF24, and I've been very happy with it. It gives us an easy way to kind of manipulate PDFs, so rotate pages, add, remove pages, merge documents, things like that. It is not a complete replacement for Acrobat, so unfortunately we're still kind of stuck with that. And I'll talk about some of the downsides and limitations of it in a little bit. But overall, it's very good. It's free for all uses. It doesn't come bundled with any junk. So if anybody wants to get it, they can get it from PDF24.org. PDF24.org. And in addition, it comes in a whole bunch of different languages. So if you happen to speak Bengali, then you're covered. It's right in there for you. So it's already should have started deploying last night to all of our IDSI computers that don't have full Acrobat. So you should have it on there now if you want to try it right after the meeting or play around with it during the meeting. So you can come up with questions if you'd like, and that's fine. And the way that it works is it creates a virtual printer. So anything that you can print, you can now make into a PDF. So for example, say I wanted a PDF of this, and web pages are somewhat of a special case because they're paginated. If you need a full long thing, you have to use special tools. But let's say we wanted to do this, so we just go into normal print, and instead of whatever your usual printer is, you'll pick PDF24, and you can set properties about whether you want black and white or color, the usual kind of printing things. And we hit OK. And what it's going to do is go through its normal printing thing, and it'll bring up some extra menus. All right, here we go. So now I can just say save it as a PDF, and we'll kind of walk through some of these other options here too. We'll put it on the desktop for convenience, and here we go. So now this web page, and again, web page printing is fairly limited, but this web page is now a PDF that we can send out to somebody or do whatever we want. So one of the reasons why we'd want to use this kind of virtual printing, like say for example we had a Word document, we could just print it and scan it in and get it to somebody that way. And that would work, and it is a viable solution. The downsides to doing that, of course, you've got the paper and things like that you save, the time and the hassle of it. But additionally, when you scan a document and make it into a PDF, it's actually, the PDF is a picture of the document. It doesn't have any understanding of the actual text in it. I think that's the way the lorem ipsum starts. So if you were to try to search it, you can't do that. And the file size is large because you're looking at a picture. So anything that looks like blank space to us is actually having to get stored in the picture file as information, and it's fairly efficient about it, but it still does raise the file size. So with this though, when we print this, document 1, now this is actual selectable text. So if somebody wanted to search it, then we can actually find stuff, whereas we could not before. And it gets us much smaller files because it's storing just basic information about the text as opposed to a picture of the text. Alright, so searchable and smaller. So I've shown you how to print some stuff. It's very easy. You just go in and print whatever you'd like from any program you want. Another test. Just anything you can print, just PDF24 right there. So say we've got a few things that we have as PDF and we want to do some manipulations of them. Let's get some PDF set up here again, and I'll show you how to do that, which is the big advantage that this program has over the PDF creator that we had been using. Print that. And while it's thinking about this, one of the things you'll notice when you put it on, now that it's on your machine, is it's probably hidden by default, but you may get this little sheep icon down there, this cartoon sheep. That's their logo, and it sits there. It's a bit of a frustration for me. You can't individually disable it. There's no way for me as an administrator to just globally disable it, which is, like I said, it's kind of frustrating, but it's hidden most of the time anyway, so it's not really that big of a deal. So we'll save this file. Sure. So say we wanted to combine those two files, or actually we'll start with manipulating. You can run PDF24 from your start menu, just like you'd launch any other program, and it brings up this interface here. So I've double-clicked the PDF to load it up on the right. This is kind of the work area over here. And you can see I've got little previews of the page. If I'm not sure which page is which, like maybe I'm not sure if it's this page or that page that I want to manipulate, you can double-click and get a bigger view of it. And so then you can say this page should have been sideways. Well, I'll just click that and rotate that page, and now I can save it back out and it'll save out rotated. Maybe I didn't want that page, so I'll just click on it and hit the delete key, or actually that's to remove all documents, I don't want that. But maybe these pages are in the wrong order. I can just take it, drag it over here. Now their order is flipped. So you can really kind of manipulate your PDF however you want it, and then just save it out as new document, and it'll save all those changes. You can save over the original document if you want to. That's fine too. But for purposes of this, I'll just save it as a different one. And then once that's done, say we wanted to insert this one over here. Like this was a cover page, let's say. Same thing, we can just drag it right up here, put it wherever we want, move it around, rotate it if we need to. One really useful use case for this program is for expense reports. So we get the receipt travelers from the system. You can just take it, drag it right in there, and there you go. Now you have that. You can save out along with your receipts. You can combine all your receipts into a single file for submitting to Carrie. You don't have to try to scan them all in, or send them all in to her and have her try to compose them. You can put it all together and send it all in one nice, neat file. Alright, so the other thing we can do if they're already in the right order, like say we had all these open and we just wanted to go ahead and merge them all right as they are, so add this one onto the end of this one and so on, so they're all in the right order. You open them all up, get them in the right order, and hit this merge button up here, and now they're all together in one document. It just added them on to the end, save it out, and done. So some of the downsides that I was talking about, as you can see, the interface is pretty bare bones. It's not the world's greatest. It's very functional, but it's not the prettiest. But I mean, that's a minor thing. The sheep icon, which we talked about, which I'll show you if you wanted to, so if you wanted to get rid of the sheep icon, it's under Tools, Preferences, Tray icon down here. You can just have it hide. It still runs, and it's fine, but it's just hidden. You can launch the program from there too if you're so inclined, if you use it a lot. And as you can see, it's got some other things you can do. You can do a screen capture through it actually, and it'll drop it right to PDF. It's not that really any better than the built-in Windows clipping tool, but it's an option. If you want to make it a PDF, you can just go right into it from there. So the default quality settings, there's a few quality settings. I've kind of zipped past them and just hit OK on all the defaults. The default quality setting is for best quality, which gives us a little bit bigger file than we really need unless we're looking to get a really high quality print. Most of the time, the standard good quality is good enough, and you get a much smaller file. So that's something you can change if you want. One other little weird thing that happens sometimes is every once in a while when you go to print something, that PDF creator window will pop up underneath instead of on top of the window that you're looking for. So, for example, you might end up with it like this. So I've hit print and I can't see it. It did pop up, but it came up underneath. Don't know why it does that sometimes, but if you do run into that, just check for it, see if it's running somewhere else that you can't see. All right. So one big issue, if you're going to use this to submit a proposal or something like that might have links, you probably are going to want to use Full Acrobat, because links in web pages or Word documents, they do not get preserved, unfortunately. That's just beyond its capability because of the way that it prints as opposed to actually integrating with Word or your web browser. So I mean, they'll be there, you can see them, they just won't be clickable. And you can't see where they go or anything like that unless it's part of the link itself. So like I said, and the last complaint is just that it's not a full Acrobat replacement, but it's totally free. So, and in fact, you can even go onto their page and they tell you how to replace this image over here with whatever image you want. So if you really want to see your face every time, then you can actually make yourself a custom installer that has your face and give it out to your family and friends. So some of the tips and tricks that we can do to really make the most use out of this, we can do some context menu. It adds a context menu, right-click menu down here. So you want a few of the things that would be helpful. We can open in the Creator, which was the same thing as going to the Start menu, PDF24, and then dragging it over. We can split page by page. So, for example, maybe we want to make this Ars Technica one here, split that out so there's a PDF for every page. So what it'll do is it'll create a folder with every page as its own separate PDF. Right, it's fine. So now you've got them all separated in one handy folder. You didn't have to do it manually. I should have left that. One other thing you can do is join. So say you're making or you're doing an expense report. You've got all your expenses lined up. Everything's in nice alphabetical order. You can actually select them all, right-click, and hit join, and it'll merge them all up into a single file for you. You don't have to go into the Creator at all. It'll just put them right there as long as you set it up ahead of time. Select all the files, go into that context menu, and join. And set your default quality. And then they'll be back into one document. And you can, likewise, if you know the specific pages you want, you can extract pages. Actually, let me do it from one that has multiple pages. Extract pages. Pull it up. There we go. So you get a preview of the pages. So maybe I just want pages 1, 3, and 7. Or you can use a range up here if you want. Then I can save as, and I get just those pages. Just kind of some shortcuts. If you find yourself doing this a lot, then you can use these shortcuts to help you get it done faster without having to go into the full thing, the full interface. And the convert to is kind of an interesting thing. So clearly this, with the name PDF24 and everything that we've talked about, it's designed around PDFs. But it can actually save in other formats. So, and again, anything that you can save, you'll be able to do this too. You don't have to use the right-click menu. But we can actually save it in a couple of printer languages, which you probably won't ever use, but also images. So you want to save these as a series of JPEGs, one JPEG or ping for each page. There you go. We just hit ping and give it our settings, and it'll save it out. A couple of picture formats. TIFF is an interesting one because it can actually, you can have multiple pages in a TIFF, unlike a JPEG where it's just the single image. You can actually have a multi-page TIFF or not. It can make separate TIFFs as well. These are kind of specialized use cases, or even a Photoshop format document if you want. The text will actually go in and pull out all the text from something too, from a PDF or whatever it is you're trying to print. It's a little wonky, so if we go in here. I'll show you how it works. It's going to attempt to retain some of the formatting, and it does an okay job. It is saving it as text. So instead of saving it as PDF, we just go in here to Save As, and send by email is pretty self-explanatory. Edit and Compose brings us directly into the PDF creator, or the PDF24 without saving it out yet. But if we do Save As, we can hit Text, and save it to desktop is fine. So see here you can see where it's tried to retain the formatting. So it's a little weird. If it's more of a Word document style or something that's straight text as opposed to a layout like a web page, it works a little bit better. But it is a way to get text out of something. Chances are, if you're putting it to this, you can probably just copy and paste the text anyway, but it's there in case anybody needs it, and you can always grab a thing like that and do it. So, talked about the text. Alright, so some of the other kind of advanced usage that we can get once you get familiar with it is you can do some of the merging things without even going into the context menu or into the editor. So say we want to print, let's print page 1 for speed off of this. If we leave this open, you notice it's over here. We can actually do some manipulation on it already. So maybe we'll do this one to PDF24. Alright, so it added another one. Oh, I should have given it a different name. That's my fault, sorry. So it actually added another one. This is the text one that we've printed. So we can reorder them or do what we want. It's kind of silly to print the PDF to PDF24, but we can certainly do that. Just so we have a different one. So it hasn't actually saved any of these out yet. So at this point, we can rearrange these and say, oh, for example, again, that's my title page, so I want that there. Maybe I didn't want that one, so I'm going to remove that one. And we can join them right from here. So we're going to join them together. And then now we've got a new document to save. I didn't have to drag and drop. And this is kind of dependent on you having everything lined up ahead of time. So once you get really familiar with it, this will become more useful. And likewise, if you have the editor open and you print another one, it'll drop it right in here as well. So either way that you want to work is fine. It'll work for both of them. Let's see. So we open directly in Creator. Yeah, so there are a few options once we get into the settings of the program that I'll show you here, where you can really kind of customize how it works. So the assistant. All right. So the assistant is the little thing that pops up right after you print something to PDF, where it has the different options for save as PDF, send as email, those kind of things. You can choose how that operates with some of these. We talked about the tray icon. If you'd rather have it open directly into the creator instead of the assistant, which is the creator is this view back here, you can set that up in here. You can actually automatically save the documents in a location and a file naming format, so it doesn't bring up anything. It just pops them right out to a file. You never even have to tell it the name. There's certain things that it recognizes. So if you're printing from Word, the title of Word, because what it does is uses the window title up here for the document name. So it will actually, it's smart enough to say like, oh hey, we've got a couple things. If it says Microsoft Word, we can remove that part of the file name, because really what they want is the document name. The fact that it was done in Word isn't something that we care about. So we can automatically erase those in the file name, so you don't have to manually do it. If you really don't like the context menu, you can remove that as well. Alright, so one of the other things you can do when you go to save it as a PDF, I talked about the quality settings. So like I said, good quality is, I find, a good balance between the actual picture quality and the file size. So it defaults to best quality when you go to print, but I would recommend good quality as a good balance between size. So you can change all sorts of things. Auto-rotate pages. By default, this is page by page. It'll actually look at the document and decide whether or not it thinks it should be rotated. So you can Just be something to be aware of if you find that it keeps rotating your pages and you're not sure why, because you've gone in here and specified the rotation and then it overrides it. It's probably the auto rotate pages being on. So just check for that. You can save some of the metadata about your document, put that in here. Turn on security settings, like maybe you don't want people to be able to print it. You can turn that off here. Use that, set a password for it. You can actually set a watermark too. So have it whatever you want right there on the page as an underlay or an overlay. Size, angle, all that good stuff. If you really want to get crazy with it and you have a digital signature, you can even put that in the document. Set some of the specific settings. If you have restrictions, you can do all that stuff in here. And it's all this. And again, to get to that, that's at the point when you're actually saving, you set these things. So I actually hit save and it brings this up. Okay, so I'll save folder. Yep, I think that was all that I had. I know I've run through things pretty quickly, but as I said, this is being recorded, so you can always watch it again. Did anyone have any questions for me about this? And you can either put it in the chat or call into the line and ask, or you should be able to use your microphone if you've got that set up on your laptop. Got a couple people typing, but I think we're probably good. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's any questions. If you think of any later, or if you have trouble while you're using it, feel free to just give me a call or an IM. I'll be glad to help. And yeah, we'll go from there. All right. Thanks, everyone. I'm going to stop the recording now.